The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Drivers and Danica, start your engine!
Pull those belts down tight. One more time. Warm up those tires. Hit your marks. And let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, Indycar, Formula One, Formula E, NHRA, and local dirt track and drag strip racing talk. This is the Championship Racing Network.
Where'd you go? Where's your home? How'd you end up all alone? Can you hear me now? Hear me now!
Now, here's Steve West, Dustin Harmer, and Matt Nicholson with producer John Myers.
Hey, welcome into the show. Hope everything is going well. Great weekend out there. Cool weather. You want to talk about fall. Fall has arrived.
It feels fantastic outside.
This is what we've been hoping for in this state.
Yeah.
This is right here where we want to be. You want to talk about fall weather, perfect time into the part of the latter end of the racing season.
Yep.
Cars and trucks are making power.
Can I see snow soon?
Bring it on.
Maybe.
I love snow. Bring it on.
I was
Snow's
waiting.
a four-letter word.
I thought,
Hush your face.
Bring on the snow.
Hush your face. But yeah, we understand it. There's a lot of great football going on as well.
Yeah.
For example, just down the road, a little ways from us here, down 280, is going to be a great game later on today. Auburn hosting Georgia.
Huge.
You're talking number 1 versus
Bigly.
number 10.
Bigly.
It's going to be a biggin.
Bigly.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yep.
So you guys, thank you very much for checking us out on your way down there. We appreciate it. We're not going to talk a whole lot of football other than to say be careful and good luck. And that's that.
Go Noles.
Whoever your team is, okay?
Oh.
What we're here to do is we're here to talk a whole lot of racing between NASCAR, which we're going to lead off with, but we also have news about the NHRA, IndyCar, Formula One, and Formula E coming up. Plus, we got a little bit of local stuff down in East Alabama Raceway. Had something happen last night that we want to talk about.
And even some ARCA.
And a little bit of ARCA as well.
Yeah.
So we got it covered right here on the Championship Racing Network. I'm Steve West. That's Matt Nicholson.
Good morning.
Mr. Dustin Harmer, how are you, sir?
I'm a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Say that 10 times fast.
Nope, not going to do it. Feeling good. It's
Either
been
one. Say it 3 times really fast or spell it.
It's a great day.
Had
some good company this week come in. Had my cousin Laura come in from South Carolina. That was cool. Ready to go up to Maryland next week.
That's right.
I'm so excited to see everybody.
I'm going to be flying solo, or maybe the return of John Myers next week. We'll find out.
Yeah,
I haven't figured it out. All that's still kind of in a little bit in the wind.
Garrett will be here,
so we'll figure it out. And Garrett will be here as well. So we're going to be good to go.
Intern Garrett.
Yeah, we're still going to be here. We do want to let you know we are going to take Thanksgiving weekend off.
Yes, we are. We're going to have a special show put in place. We were talking about it before the show, of course. We are going to replay the Talladega weekend that we had with Cruz Skinner. He's going to be gracing us with his presence, so to speak.
Yeah.
We're going to do that, but we're also going to have a bit from Christmas in the Pines, from that great time that we had with Lisa Lee when she stopped in last week.
And they'll be open.
Yes.
They'll be up and operating Friday.
They will. That's right.
Friday.
They will be open at
Friday
that point,
night.
too. So that's November 17th. We're going to talk about them a little bit later.
Yep. All right. Meantime, let's go ahead and get into it. Not a whole lot happened on the track last weekend. Really, only 2 events. Started with the Xfinity Series at Texas Motor Speedway. The winner was a moonlighter. For the second time this season, it was Eric Jones who claimed it. He swept as a moonlighter both of the Texas races, and in pretty dominating fashion led 137 of the 200 laps. But really what was more important was what was going on behind him. Since no series regular won, it meant that no driver locked themselves into next weekend's Ford Championship weekend to vie for the championship. But veteran Elliott Sadler moved into the points lead, and that is big.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Very big.
Yeah, because this weekend is that final event for you to lock yourself in here. As they go to Phoenix, and only 4 people are going to be going to Homestead, Miami to compete for the title. Over the final 30 laps last weekend at Texas, not only did one moonlighter begin to pull away from Sadler, and the other series regulars, 2 of them did, because Jones was being chased down by the guy who's sitting on the pole for tomorrow's Cup Series race, Ryan Blaney. Nice run for him yesterday.
Yeah.
Final top 10, trailing Jones and Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, who couldn't track down his fellow Moonlighters. Then you got Sadler, Cole Custer, who has really stepped it up here in the latter parts of it. He didn't qualify for the playoffs, got bounced out early, but he's really showing some strength in that 00 Mustang. Then you got Christopher Bell, who was stepping up from the Truck Series. Brendan Poole, Matt Tift, William Byron, and Moonlighter Austin Dillon. So all of this, as we mentioned, causes a shakeup in the points. You got Elliott Sadler now moving in front. He's 5 points up on William Byron. Justin Allgaier's 9 down. Brendan Poole trails by 24 in fourth, and Poole is your cutoff. 24 points. He could still conceivably actually jump out to the lead.
He could. Yeah, he could.
Okay, but here's where it gets a lot more fun. 5-point lead on the final playoff position for Brendan Poole over Matt Tift, and Cole Custer is 13 behind the cutoff. So there's still a lot of room to be able to play here. Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Reed, 18 and 33 points behind fourth place effectively. Those two really need a win.
Yeah.
Because
Reed,
not only, even if you got the points, you got to jump over a number of drivers to get there, and that's probably too big of a hurdle.
Yeah.
So it's win or do nothing else.
Yeah, for Hemrick and Reed, Cole Custer is on the
13
borderline.
13 is on the edge. As far as 5 points, Matt Tift, that's easily doable.
Yeah, and Brendan Poole needs to watch out for Matt Tift because Matt Tift has put together a string of very good runs these past few weeks.
Yeah.
He
has.
Yes, he has. Very much so.
So today in the Xfinity Series, we'll give you all the details about that coming up in a bit. Today in the Xfinity Series race, a lot is on the line. It's going to be real interesting to watch the storylines.
Granted, I'd love for Sadler to get a NASCAR championship.
I was just getting ready to go down this road.
I'd love for it, but I would like to see him get a win. I don't want to see another scenario like Austin Dillon a few years ago. No race wins, but you win the series title.
All right.
He's been close. I mean, he's been there. He's got the speed.
Close.
He's definitely
been consistent.
He's that guy that everybody's pulling for.
Yeah.
Right.
Regardless of who your driver is.
Sentimental
They're
favor.
always pulling. Yeah, that sentimental favor. There's one in every series.
Oh, yeah.
And he's definitely that one. I would love to see him win the championship, of course, this year because it's a long time coming.
Yeah, and you've been a big fan of his.
I've been a big fan of his. He's such a great guy. I got a chance to meet him up at Dover a couple years ago. Actually, it was a lot of
I
fun
got to meet him at Talladega in 2013 in his bus. He's real cool.
He is. I mean, he's real easy to talk to. He loves talking to the fans. Just loves all that time that he has there. So it's definitely that sentimental favorite. But I agree. I would like to see him win a race. But the problem with that is the one problem we talk about all the time.
The top 3 finishers, all Moonlighters.
Bingo.
Everybody's a Moonlighter that finishes out in front of him. And that's why I'm so against it, because we would see a different shakeup of winners. We would see more winners than, 4?
NASCAR set up something really, really cool in the playoffs for one race. And it's the season finale at Homestead, Miami, where you cannot step out of the series that you're running for points in. So even Christopher Bell, for example, couldn't move up from trucks to Xfinity.
Austin Cindric can't.
Yeah.
Okay, and I like that.
Yeah, and so the thing is
I think it needs to be done a little bit more often in the playoffs.
That's where, and because there's not going to be any Moonlighters in that race or anything of that nature, we see Sadler get the win, and he claims the championship.
Yeah.
That will speak volumes.
That's very possible.
That
It will.
And
Very,
the
very
reason
possible.
that'll speak volumes is the fact that because you've taken the Moonlighters out, now you got a guy who's a series regular who can go in and win a race and the championship at the same time. That only sends that message home that the Moonlighters should not be there. I know everybody likes it. I know some
out of
people
town.
say they should be there because they get to race against
If
folks.
you want to
But
do it in the regular season,
that's fine. Yeah.
on a limited basis, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to rail on you.
Yeah, but during the playoffs, I see none. None.
I think
in
it needs
the
to be
playoffs.
eliminated totally for the entire 10 races.
He'd have had a couple wins this year, as a matter of fact. Sadler could have had multiple wins this year had it not been for that.
The Moonlighter deal for me, to make the playoff situation better, if I could implement a rule on that, cut your limitation off at the halfway point. If you're going to moonlight in the series, you have to run your races before race 16 of the series. Race 16 or after, get out of here.
I like that.
Let the series regulars do their thing, fight it out for the championship without you coming in, taking the wins away, going, oh, how am I going to make the playoffs? Or how am I going to get to the final race to fight for a championship because I've got Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano,
Kevin Harvick.
Brad
Keselowski.
Keselowski coming in. Oh, they're taking away my chance for a championship.
They're taking away valuable points, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's been my big crutch throughout the entire thing is the fact that, one spot on the track, especially with the way that these points are now, every single point is so valuable. I mean, we've seen
stage wins. And all that
you
kind of
look
stuff
at, and the fact that now that they've got the same playoff scenario as the Cup guys and everything else, we've seen what 1 point here or 1 point there can do.
Bingo.
We've seen guys being 19 points in to the good, and then all of a sudden somebody else is a winner, and all of a sudden they're 25 points down underneath the cut.
Yeah.
Or you sit there and you're looking at the stage point breakdown. No points, no points, no points. Top stage point getter gets 4 points.
Yeah.
Because you got 6 moonlighters in front of them.
Exactly. So I mean,
It
that
defeats the purpose.
really takes away. I mean, they've got to come up with a solution that can fix that as well.
I agree.
Yeah, bingo.
Sunday, Monster Energy Cup Series, not just one, but 2 drivers locked themselves into the season finale at Homestead, Miami as title contenders. So this weekend, 5 drivers are trying to grab the 1 seat that's left for championship weekend. Kevin Harvick, he's been a fixture in the top 10 since moving over to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2014, including winning that particular season's title. But this year, the change by his team from Chevrolet to Ford meant really a lot of adjustment for Happy. It seems like he's made those adjustments now as we've gotten into the playoffs.
Yep.
He's notched 11 top 10 results all this season, but the learning curve has been kind of steep for both he and his teammates, and that's really despite Kurt Busch winning the season opening Daytona 500.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wild card race, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Toyota began to show a lot of strength over the summer. We've talked about that throughout the course of the year. And it took time for the Ford teams to adjust, specifically Stewart-Haas, since they're brand new to that brand. Harvick noted that he felt that his team had turned a corner right about the time that the playoffs began. He was able to lead 59 laps at Chicagoland, first race in the playoffs. He was able to lead 149 laps at Charlotte, 37 more at Kansas, before he finally broke through and won at Texas last weekend, marking only his 2nd win of the year. The first win came at a road course.
Sonoma.
Uncharacteristic of Harvick, but...
Yeah. And by the way, with the win now at Texas and the win at Sonoma, he has only 2 tracks that he has not won on that NASCAR currently races
Can you
on.
name them, Harvick fan?
No.
Kentucky's one of them.
Yeah, that's one.
And Pocono's the other.
Pocono's the other.
Yeah. So it was Kentucky and Pocono. So there you go.
Thank you for your chime in there.
I never actually. I know they talk about that kind of stuff. Where they haven't won yet and stuff like that. I don't even pay attention to it. I really don't.
Some do, some don't. I mean, I think at some point in time when the drivers realize exactly how close they are to having won at all the tracks that we currently race on, then it kind of becomes one of those things like, you know what? Yeah, I want to win there.
The biggest problem with that is then they put so much extra pressure on themselves because they're going to a track that they haven't won yet, especially if they're in a position where they have to win.
Yeah.
I mean, going to Phoenix when Harvick was in a bow tie, you knew he was a possibility to win each and every race that was out there. In Ford's, not as much now.
When Harvick would get off the plane, you could probably sense him going,
yeah,
y'all just load up and go home.
Yeah.
The way he dominated.
Sure.
But now, the way the tides have turned.
But when you think about it, for example, since we have 2 resident drivers in Matt and Garrett here, you start a racing career and let's say you guys ended up going to the Cup Series.
Which would be
in
great.
the top 10 things that you guys want to accomplish, winning at all the tracks that are on there may not even be in the top 10.
That would be 9 or 10 on my list.
At tops.
At best. At best, 9 or 10.
I would have a few. I would have a few tracks on there I'd want to win, but
Daytona, Brickyard,
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
To literally say, hey, I want one of the things that I want to accomplish before I quit racing in Cup is to win at all the venues that this series runs at. If that's in your top 10, as you said, it's 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to note over the course of time how versatile some of these drivers can be to the point where they win on all these tracks except for, in Harvick's case, Kentucky and Pocono.
Talking about that, I would tell you what my number 1 goal would be. I don't care if I won a championship, if I won whatever. My number 1 goal would be if I got to the top level of motorsports, whether it be ARCA, trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. I have 1 goal.
And it is?
Win at home.
Oh, okay.
At home.
Yeah.
Win at home.
Win at your home track.
If I won at Talladega, I would be content with my career if I only had 1 win.
There you go.
That also
that's the same with me.
That's also a double-edged sword when it comes to Talladega.
Sure, it is.
It's one of those ones where you couldn't get it done on the other on the other tracks, but you could get it done at the plate track. True. Everybody looks at that in a negative light.
It's in a negative light, but it would be a sense of pride for me, and it would probably be a sense of pride for him.
Yeah.
I won at my home track.
It was kind of like Stenhouse this year.
Yeah, and didn't do anything else. But
we saw it last year, not this past just this past weekend, but we're talking 2016 Talladega Camping World Truck Series race.
Grant
Enfinger from down in Mobile, granted, but Talladega effectively
Yep.
is his home track for the
Yep.
Camping World Truck Series. Dude was so thrilled
Yeah.
Yeah.
of having won at Talladega.
That was cool to see him win too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
The
It was.
excitement was there.
It was.
Kevin Harvick, whose nickname is Happy, was trailed by probably one of the happiest second-place finishers you're ever going to note in NASCAR history, Martin Truex Jr., because despite the fact that he didn't claim the win, the driver of the number 78 Toyota also locked himself into the season finale because he's racked up so many points that he cannot be eliminated from
This is true.
going on next weekend.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin claimed third, Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Eric Jones make up your top 10. 3 drivers, again, listed as title contenders, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, with wins. Martin Truex Jr. is 58 points above Brad Keselowski, who's in 4th.
Yeah.
So Brad Keselowski in 4th can't jump to 3rd.
No.
Martin Truex Jr. is in.
Yep.
Yeah. You said he was happy?
For getting in.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't happy about losing.
Yeah,
but he now knows he's
did you
in
notice
the
that this week?
championship race.
Did you notice the dejection in Martin Truex Jr.'s
yeah, he wanted
face
to win.
and in his? And it's not just that, but if you look at the 1.5 mile tracks this year, he's been dominant. 6 wins on a 1.5 mile track, and then
And to watch
Then-
motor by him.
and it wasn't the fact that Harvick didn't even have to move him.
No.
And he blames it on the 6. Of
Yeah,
course,
blamed
he's
it
going to
on
be looking for
Trevor
something.
Bain.
Blames it on Trevor Bain. Well,
Harvick ran him down
because and that's the
roll
thing.
by.
with no effort.
Because even after Harvick got past him, Harvick set sail. There was
Yeah.
no way
Pulled
that
away.
70. If anybody was holding anybody up, that 78 was holding 4.
Yeah.
4 laps,
Yeah.
he had gapped him almost 2 seconds.
He did, and that's the thing. And Harvick raced him. We saw a weakness in the Toyotas
Yeah.
on a 1.5 mile.
Yep.
That's what we saw on at Texas.
Harvick did expose that weakness.
And that's what they did. The Fords have now exposed the
Yep.
Toyota's weakness on that 1.5 mile track, and now the Toyotas know it. That was what I saw and what I heard in that interview with Martin Truex junior after that race. It wasn't the fact that he lost the race. It was the fact of, oh crap,
I got
people figured us out.
That
I got beat.
That was a look of son of a
Period.
you know what. They
Yeah.
they busted us. We're in trouble.
and that's the thing, because they thought they had this thing wrapped up and it was going to be good to go.
And you can see the look in Tony Stewart's face on Victory Lane. It was like, gotcha.
And that
Gotcha.
2011.
that line that he
2011.
used, was awesome.
Yep, here, kitty, kitty. I
It
mean,
was like a
that's what
gotcha.
he would say in the car back then. And you think about the mind games
Yep.
that he played with Carl Edwards back in 2011,
Yep.
winning 5 races in the playoffs only,
Yeah.
and claiming that title on a tiebreaker, technically. You know, think of the mind games he was playing. That same mentality is in Tony Stewart right now in the post-race
Yeah,
interview.
what
If there's
what a
two-
battle that
If there's
was.
2 competitors that I'm racing against that I don't want to play mind games with, Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, because Kevin could play with
You
the best
will-
of them.
you will
But
lose the mind
Tony's
game.
comments in Victory Lane were absolutely awesome when he said, I've seen how this one plays out before. Or what was it? Something along those lines. He's like, I've seen how
Been there, done that
I've
effectively.
been there, done that. I've seen how this one plays out. And he just got that smirk on his face.
And I
Because now
will-
you got
Yeah,
Harvick
yeah,
going.
knowing
Now you got
how-
Harvick.
I will not bet against them either.
Nope.
No, especially in a Ford now.
Okay. So we know the 3 guys that are in there. For the final spot, as we mentioned, Brad Keselowski holds fourth position. Here's where it gets interesting because effectively everybody 5th through 8th really needs the win because
Yeah.
do we really expect the 2 car to spit the bit?
Phoenix, I'm not going to say that he won't.
But do we really expect it?
You don't expect it, but I'm not going to say that it won't.
It's
Okay.
possible.
It's possible.
Sure, anything's possible.
yeah.
I mean,
get it.
look at Texas, how it started last week.
But all things being equal,
Tire down, the whole 9 yards.
all things being equal, do we expect the 2 car to not be a quality entry? And the reason I mention that is because Brad Keselowski has 19 points on 5th place Denny Hamlin. That is a big gap, and it only gets bigger. 22 points to Ryan Blaney. Those needing a win or they don't move on are Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy's done.
49.
I'm sorry to all of the JJ fans out there, but Jimmy Johnson, there is no 8 coming this year.
49 and 51 points out, respectively. And here's the thing. If those 2, which they likely will, get eliminated, think about this. No Chevrolet up for title contention.
Exactly what I was about to say.
That right there is huge because we're getting new
Yeah.
shirts every year for a title, you know. But the thing is you look at the fact of Jimmy Johnson this year, and it's not that. I mean, you look at a place like he won in the spring at Texas, and then he finishes 3 laps down in the fall. That team has gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Jimmy Johnson signed with Hendrick through 2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chad Knaus is only signed as his crew chief through 2018.
Do we see changing of the guard happening?
At some point in time, I think changes have to be made to the 48.
The one comment that sticks out in my mind, I have heard Chad Knaus say, the only other driver he would like to work with in his career, Chase Elliott.
I don't see them splitting Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson up. I mean, those two.
Maybe not.
Those two are those. Those
a lot
two
of
are
it
good.
depends on how the performance is.
It is. But we've seen one heck of a performance out of that 2014 with Allen on the box and Chase in the car.
Yep.
We've seen a great driver crew chief combo. We talk about that all the time. The communication. Those two have great communication, and he has put him in positions each and every week to perform.
Yep.
I don't see that switching.
Got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the racing that kicked off this weekend. Plenty of racing action actually this weekend. It all kicked off last night with the Lucas Oil 150 for the Camping World Truck Series at Phoenix Raceway. A little bit of controversy.
Just
final
a little
elimination race.
Just
A lot of bent fenders.
We'll talk about bent fenders and bent egos. We'll talk about that when we come back right here on the Championship Racing Network.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing Network.
Get in the Christmas spirit this holiday season at Christmas in the Pines. Starting November 17th through December 23rd, make memories during a mile-long hayride through the light displays and enjoy family time in the Christmas village full of arts, crafts, and food. Plus many special guests including Grammy nominee Judy Pancoast performing December 15th and 19th, and the one and only Santa Claus visits from the North Pole. Open daily from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week at the Camulga Grist Mill in Childersburg. For more information including admission, visit Christmas in the Pines on Facebook or christmasinthepines.com. Starting a business can be a hassle. The most important part of that starts with the right bank to take care of your business's financial future. Renaissance Bank is ready with the tools you need to not only establish your company, but grow your current company. With multiple business accounts, Renaissance can make sure that you have the right account to fit your needs. Skip the hassles and visit Renaissance Bank on 8th Avenue Southwest in Childersburg today and get your business on track to succeed. Online at renaissancebank.com. Renaissance Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I am Sergeant Clay Warren. I suffer from PTSD. In 2013, I ended my own life. Now my voice has been brought back to speak to people like me. Know that you're not the only one. Things can get better. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. Speak up now to get the help that you need.
22 veterans end their lives every day. You just heard the reconstructed voice of one of them. Seek help at mission22.com.
Fuel only, go, go, go. We're back to the Championship Racing Network.
Welcome back into the Championship Racing Network here on Yay 106.5 and WIEA 1290, coming to you live from the J&M Tank Line Studios right here on Radio Alabama. So you can listen online, of course, WIEA.net, or download that Yay 106.5 app for smartphones and tablets. Of course, this segment of the show, each and every week, is brought to you in part by our great friends at Renaissance Bank. When you need financial freedom, make your first and only choice Renaissance Bank. Stop in and see Janice, Russell, and all the gals down there on 8th Avenue Southwest in downtown Childersburg, online at renaissancebank.com, or give them a call today, 256-378-4002. Renaissance Bank, the official bank of the Championship Racing Network.
Fine folks at Mission 22, if you were listening throughout the course of the break, you heard the public service announcement for the guys from Mission 22. And we have become pretty good friends with them, pretty good partners with them.
Yep.
And if you don't know what they do, I will turn you back over to Dustin.
They are one heck of an organization. Of course, our great friend Joey Jatina and his organization, Racing for Awareness, has now partnered up with Mission 22. And there's a lot of big things coming down. There's actually going to be a press release out today, folks.
there it
So
is.
you're going to be hearing that later on today. You'll be catching all of that.
And we're looking at the Championship Racing Network Facebook page, too.
Yeah, because I got to get it done. But Mission 22. There are a numerous amount of organizations out there that claim to help veterans. We've seen some bad stuff happen. We've seen some good stuff happen. But let me tell you about Mission 22. They are united in the war against veteran suicide. They've got comprehensive wellness programs. They do jiu-jitsu, holistic health, war detox programs. They have 3 simple missions. That's their missions: veteran treatment programs, war at home memorials, and national awareness. They have plenty of treatment programs for PTS. That is just plaguing so many of my fellow brothers and sisters from the military coming back from overseas. They've got all these different things in place to help them cope with getting back into civilian life, getting out of that war mentality that they've been in for so long. And they are great folks, and they have so many things going on. They are aiming for this year. This is their aim, and they are aiming for 90% of their whatever they bring in from donations. 90% goes back to veterans.
That's awesome.
That's huge.
90%.
Cool.
That's
so,
very cool.
and we want you to help us join in the fight as well. So anytime you're just kind of online or whatever, we want you to use the hashtag Mission22 or the hashtag MI22ION, and make sure that you join us here at the Championship Racing Network, of course, with Racing for Awareness and Mission 22, and let's get 22 veterans a day committing suicide right now. Let's get that down to 0. So help us in the fight, especially on today being Veterans Day.
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you to all the men and women who have served this country.
Here.
The fact that you have gone and you have done what you have done and what you are doing allows us to do what we're doing right here.
Bingo.
That's right.
All right. This weekend's racing actually began last night. Camping World Truck Series ran the Lucas Oil 150 at Phoenix Raceway. Got some controversy to add to the intrigue of it being the final elimination race, one that's going to set the final 4 contestants for the championship next weekend at Homestead, Miami. First, you got the winner, Johnny Sauter. He was already locked into the title contending race. He claimed his second win of this particular segment. It meant the remaining slots in the final 4 are going to be decided on points. What didn't help was stopping the race no less than 3 times over the last 20 laps due to big wrecks, including one where Kyle Busch Motorsports teammates Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell took each other out while racing for the lead. It is interesting to note because Fox Sports 1 carries all of the Camping World Truck Series races. This race went so far over that they had to take their scheduled college football game between Stanford and Washington and move it over to another Fox.
I was surprised they didn't move the race to Fox Sports 2 to start the ball game on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, nope. They chose to stick with the Camping World Truck Series.
When they're going to bring out the Fox Sports Ocho.
Yeah. Again, Sauter's already locked in. Christopher Bell has accrued so many bonus points for stages and stage wins and all, including the first 2 stages of this race, that he has moved on. The other 2 that we're going to battle out for the 2017 Camping World Truck Series title turn out to be 2-time champ Matt Crafton, who finished 21st on the night, and rookie Austin Cindric. But it was Cindric's finishing position that's the source of the controversy that we mentioned as we began talking about this race. Ben Rhodes and Cindric were battling for that final championship slot when a caution on lap number 25, with 25 laps to go, sent them both into the pits. Cindric's team was a bit slow on the pit stop, but most of the drivers stayed out, so not only did Cindric lose a lot of spots, so did Ben Rhodes. Rhodes restarted 9th, Cindric 12th. On the restart, Cindric made contact with Rhodes, spun him out, wrecked him, ended Rhodes' night in the process. John Hunter Nemechek could have claimed the final playoff spot, but needed a win, ended up second. So Cindric, while not the most popular of moves, did what needed to be done to move on in title contention. Of course, the 2 drivers saw the situation quite differently.
Everybody does.
Cindric claimed that Rhodes was blocking, so it was effectively Rhodes' fault, not Cindric's. Meantime, Rhodes and his crew chief, Eddie Traconis, saw things quite different. Rhodes called the move a desperation move on Cindric's part, said that Cindric had been caught, quote, driving over his head, unquote. Traconis, during the red flag that resulted from the wreck, said to the media that Cindric's race in Miami might not be a smooth one.
Do you think?
Matt Crafton, who got some damage from the crash as well, leading him to finish 22nd, told media after the race, quote, I told Ben the 19, which is Cindric's truck number, better not finish at Homestead. Quote, unquote.
Use my words wisely on that one.
Yep. Yeah. Watch a replay.
Yep.
There's like one guy who's going to be like, these guys are all fighting each other. I could just cruise on to the victory and get the championship.
And here's the thing. Now that Matt Crafton has said that, I guarantee you one of the NASCAR officials up in the tower, his job is to do nothing but watch the 19 truck all race long.
Yep.
Hello, replay of Kansas Logano a few years ago.
Top 10 at Phoenix: Sauter, John Hunter Nemechek second, Cody Coughlin, Chase Briscoe, Kaz Gralla, Stuart Friesen, Todd Gilliland, Christopher Bell, Cindric, and Bailey Curry.
That's right. And let's give a great big shout out real quick to Cop Motorsports and Bailey Curry. First top 10 for Cop Motorsports. And the reason I bring them up is because you're going to be hearing about them a lot more here soon.
right.
So big congratulations out there to DJ Kopp, the owner over there at Kopp Motorsports, on their first top 10 as a
It's
team.
not a very old team. I mean, they're basically,
Fairly new,
for all intents and purposes, they're pretty much a startup organization. Within NASCAR.
They are, but for them
So they're making leaps and bounds.
So for them to grab that top 10, that was
That's huge
absolutely
for them.
amazing. So big congratulations from all of us here from CRN to out to
Here.
Kopp Motorsports.
As it is, again, the four battling it out for the title next weekend are in alphabetical order. Since the top finisher takes it all, we don't care about seeding. Bell, Cindric, Crafton, and Sauter, those are the guys who are going to be taking it on. Rest of this weekend's racing starts Xfinity Series today. They're going to be running the Ticket Galaxy 300 at Phoenix Raceway. Airs on NBC. Hey, the main network. What do you mean?
Wow.
And MRN Radio beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time. Sunday starts off with Formula One. They head to South America for the Grand Prix of Brazil. They're running on the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. That's a 15-turn, 2.67-mile-long course in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I'm going to need you to do that 3 times in a row.
Nope. I could spell it for you, though, if you want me to.
No, we're good. That would take the entire segment.
Yeah. That's going to be shown on the NBC Sports Network. The cable network begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. You found out something kind of interesting over there about some of the activities leading up to the race in Brazil, Garrett.
Yeah, I did. I was scrolling through Facebook, and on the news section, I seen where members of Lewis Hamilton's team were robbed at gunpoint.
Welcome to Brazil.
Yeah. Brazil, not the best of places.
That's when you get off the plane, you're like, welcome to Brazil. Give me your money.
Brazil, pow, pow.
Racing will continue later on Sunday. Monster Energy Cup Series running at Phoenix Raceway as well. It's the Can-Am 500. NBC, the main network airing it, and MRN Radio, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Central Time. Ryan Blaney has the pole, will lead the field to the green. Nice run. And for Wood Brothers.
Extremely interesting.
Your front row, your guys that are in 5th and 6th, respectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very interesting race at Phoenix, I think.
A lot of drama here, a lot of details that we got to go through here.
But that's the thing, and this is going to, we were talking about it. We've got 5 guys vying for one spot right now.
Right.
Jimmy Johnson, you're done. Forget it. You're over with. So,
and for all intents and purposes, probably Chase Elliott.
And of course, we're going to give our pick later on the show after you're gone.
Yeah.
But
you already know what I'm going to say.
Your thought process as we head into Phoenix, this is it. This is for Homestead.
Yeah, this is for
you don't ever get to do a pick.
No,
so
not really.
We want to hear your thoughts as we're approaching tomorrow's race at Phoenix, going in towards Homestead. Who is out of those 5, minus Jimmy Johnson because he's done, but those 4 is going to get the win at Phoenix and move on because one of them's got to win.
Yeah, they've got to win
to do it.
If you press me up against the wall, I would probably give a slight nod to Denny Hamlin.
I kind of have to say
He's
the
been
same
fast
thing.
this weekend.
I mean, we'll talk about ours later on, but you never get to make a pick. So now you made a pick.
Yeah. As much as it kind of pains me because I'm not a huge Denny Hamlin fan, but just thinking about it on a logical basis, I have a hard time betting against him at Phoenix.
I will say this much real quick, and I know we'll talk about it later on. Denny Hamlin, even if he wins, it's still only 3 people going for the championship at Homestead. He'll find a way to screw it up.
Yeah,
probably.
And it's probably going to involve a certain 24.
Probably.
Napa.
Moving on.
One more event, and that's the NHRA's final 2017 event. They're going to crown champions tomorrow in Pomona, Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series, the Auto Club NHRA Finals, Auto Club Raceway. Coverage begins on Fox Sports 1 at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Time. Sunday evening victory lane celebration by Kevin Harvick and the number 4 Stewart Haas Racing Team was actually stopped for a moment of silence. We talk about this being Veterans Day. Mm-hmm. We also found out last weekend that something really, really horrific happened at a small church in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Yeah.
And the fact that the entire 4 team and the NASCAR officials that were there and the Monster Energy representatives that were there and who all else was in victory lane at that time, for them all to take a moment of silence to honor those involved, the victims of the shooting in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Yeah, that's
a classy move.
They normally do the 6-shooter shoot off when Eddie Gossett gives a tech.
They didn't include that.
They didn't do that. Class move right there.
Track spokesman Mike Zizzo said, quote, "In light of the tragedy earlier today in Sutherland Springs, we opted not to conduct a segment of our customary post-race victory lane activities. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of those affected by the tragedy as well as those of the entire community of Sutherland Springs." And of course, Harvick got all of the things that a Texas winter actually always does, but they didn't do the 6-shooters. I get it. I mean, it's one of the fun celebrations by the drivers. I get it, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was not.
At least he got the cowboy hat.
Yeah, he got a cowboy.
He got the cowboy hat and the 6 shooters, but just didn't get to shoot them off.
Yeah.
which was fine by me.
Yeah, it was
It was fine by me, too.
All right. Shortly after our show ended last week, and not too long after our own resident driver, Matt, proclaimed that he felt Matt Kenseth would be named the driver of the number 10 Ford at Stewart-Haas Racing.
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets interesting.
Matt Kenseth said that not only would he not be driving the number 10, he likely won't be driving in NASCAR at all in 2018. But kind of like Carl Edwards, he didn't use the word retire.
I am human. I will admit on these radio airwaves, I was wrong.
It happens. Kenseth said he would be stepping away from NASCAR in 2018, adding that it was, quote, probably time to do something different.
Yeah.
Kenseth, of course, 2003 Cup champion, found out he was in his final year behind the wheel of the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. He will be replaced by Eric Jones in 2018. Kenseth is 45, really hasn't been courted by any other race team, from what we can tell. Led him to say last Saturday following the practice at Texas Motor Speedway, quote, I'm not committing to anything for 2018. Added, quote, I'm just going to take some time off, whatever that means. I don't know if it's a year, 2 years, 3 months, 4 months. You never know what happens. Maybe something comes along that really makes me excited and feels like it's going to be a fit. You might go do it. I'm certainly not going to rule that out for now. I'm not making plans for 2018. But should this be the end of his career, along with the 2003 Cup title, Kenseth has racked up 38 wins in the Cup Series and 647 career starts. By the way, that's the most of all the current drivers.
Yeah.
And it likely means, and certainly this is room for debate, but I think that makes him a Hall of Famer, a NASCAR Hall of Famer.
It warrants it.
Yeah.
I think
it
it certainly
will
warrants a heck of a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
At some point, he's going to be in regardless.
Yeah.
I think
into
so.
the Hall
yeah.
of Fame.
I think so.
I mean, it
38 race wins and a championship.
Yeah.
That's hard not to say that he's, he may not be up there with your Richard Petty's and Dale Earnhardt seniors, but he's certainly
Right.
one of the best.
Maybe they'll put the car on display from Bristol a few years back when he ticked off a certain Tony Stewart that has the marking of a driver's helmet in the windshield.
in the windshield. Right there in the base. Yeah, exactly.
This one time at Bristol.
Yeah. By the way, and this marks two very notable drivers now that are going to be stepping away / retiring from NASCAR after the season. He and, of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I'm just, the only thing that really bugs me about this fact is he didn't really get a proper send off.
I don't think he did.
I did see
I think he got robbed.
I did see where Phoenix did put "Thank you, Matt" on their wall.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to do that, but I think he really got robbed of the fact of you look back at Jeff Gordon had an entire year of presence and all that stuff. Tony Stewart, same thing.
Sure.
Dale
Jr.,
Jr., same thing. Matt Kenseth, nothing.
Yeah.
I saw a picture flash up on social media last night. Somebody in Joe Gibbs' shop snapped a picture of Kenseth's Homestead car. It's going to be a flashback of 1999.
It does look that way.
Wow.
It's going to be
Yes,
a
it does.
flashback of
That'd be a
99.
good-looking car.
Him and Junior both.
All right, so now that we know that Matt Kenseth is not going to be in the number 10, we got to take a break. When
Yes,
we
we
come
do.
back, we will unveil probably one of the worst-kept secrets in recent NASCAR garage history and tell you who is the driver of the number 10 car when we come back on the Championship Racing Network.
We will be right back with more on the Championship Racing Network.
I am Sergeant Clay Warren. I suffered from PTSD. In 2013, I ended my whole life. Now my voice has been brought back to speak to people like me. Know that you're not the only one. Things can get better. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. Speak up now to get the help that you need.
22 veterans end their lives every day. You just heard the reconstructed voice of one of them. Seek help at mission22.com.
Get in the Christmas spirit this holiday season at Christmas in the Pines. Starting November 17th through December 23rd, make memories during a mile-long hayride through the light displays and enjoy family time in the Christmas village full of arts, crafts, and food. Plus many special guests, including Grammy nominee Judy Pancoast performing December 15th and 19th, and the one and only Santa Claus visits from the North Pole. Open daily from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week at the Camulga Grist Mill in Childersburg. For more information, including admission, visit Christmas in the Pines on Facebook or ChristmasInThePines.com.
4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and we're back to more racing action on the Championship Racing Network.
We're back. Welcome back to the
background stuff here.
Championship Racing Network here on Yay 106.5 and
There's a reason why you should have us on
1290.
Facebook Live.
If you're not following the Facebook Live, first off, if you're not following the Facebook page, you're wrong. Secondly, if you're not following the Facebook page, you're wrong because you miss all the good stuff going on in the background at all times. And the fact that I don't know how to turn a button down. Because I couldn't hear it because of all this chaos going on behind me.
Sound implications.
Yeah.
We've got playoff implications coming up.
Welcome back to what used to be the Championship Racing Network.
Now the Chaos Racing.
When we left, we were talking about Matt Kenseth, and of course now we're coming back to
talking about who is going to be in the number 10 car. And if you listen very, very carefully, and I don't care what part of the country you're in and listening to us from, if you hear a loud "I told you so," we can tell you that it's coming from northeastern Maryland.
Yeah, wait. This just in. I hear it now. I was right.
Yes.
It's coming in from our own Nikki.
Again, this is really not a well-kept secret, seeing as, well, our sharp-eyed Matt noticed this. Tony Stewart's official Facebook account kind of gave it away Monday, if you were paying attention. Stewart Haas Racing, we told you about it last week, put out a press release that said, hey, coming up next Wednesday, it'll be a Smithfield meet and eat, and we'll reveal the driver of the number 10 next Wednesday. And then Monday...
leave it to Smoke.
Somebody made a boo-boo.
He said it's a meet and eat with the new driver of the number 10. They still had the blacked-out profile, and it said Tony Stewart and Eric Almirola.
Oopsie.
Gave it away.
Who got fired that day for social media from Tony Stewart?
I wonder.
Because it wasn't Tony.
It is funny, though. Stewart didn't talk about the gaffe on social media, but did say of his newest driver, officially, yes, Eric Almirola, that he'd been impressed with Eric Almirola dating all the way back to the time when the two were employees at Joe Gibbs Racing 13 years ago.
Wow.
Back then, Almirola was part of NASCAR's Startup Diversity Program. He was testing cars for Stewart back then. Stewart admitted that Matt Kenseth had actually been considered for the seat in the 10, said, quote, we had worked on this long before Kenseth, but even once Matt became available for this car, we felt this was the perfect fit. I was real excited from day one to try to get Eric in this car. After Almirola left Joe Gibbs Racing, he drove for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, then on to Chip Ganassi Racing in the Cup on a part-time basis, then dropped down to Xfinity for Junior Motorsports before getting the ride at Richard Petty Motorsports. That's where he's been the past 6 years. Claimed to win 10 top 5 finishes, but unfortunately has never finished a season higher than 16th in points. Is that Almirola? Is that car? Is it a combination? Thoughts?
Here's time for the letter of the week.
Letter of the week?
Yeah, my letter of the week.
Dear Eric.
No, Dear Smoke.
Dear Smoke.
How is
on, let me get
Eric
some music for this.
Almirola a more perfect fit than Matt Kenseth? Define that.
Longevity.
Maybe.
Keep the seat hot for Cole Custer?
I don't want to see Cole come up too fast, though, either.
Well, but here's the thing. When
I know,
is too
but
fast?
still.
2 more years.
When
He's
is too
got-
fast? Is 2019 too fast?
I'd like to see Cole stay down there for a little bit longer. They've got to work on getting the sponsorship ready to go, and with sponsorship the way that it is in NASCAR right now, they've got to watch that stuff.
True.
Well, let's get back to that.
But wait, there's more.
Shelve that for a moment, shall we?
Let's put a pin in it.
While not revealed for how long the deal was for either Almirola or Smithfield, Stewart actually addressed that particular part of it on his personal Twitter account. He posted, quote, there are too many rats in the garage, that's a quote, who could try to use the information of how long a deal is to either try to steal sponsors or drivers, knowing that they're in the last year of their deals. So we actually do not know how long either Smithfield Foods or Eric Almirola are signed for. Technically, they could be signed for 1 or 2 or 3 years, effectively doing the exact same thing, keeping that seat warm.
3
for
Cole Custer.
Are we
Call him 3.
Are we seeing something new happening here? Are we seeing the fact that maybe we're not going to know the length of the details when it comes to deals now with drivers and sponsors?
Stewart Haas Racing starts a trend right
Wow.
there.
Yep.
I mean, how many times have we heard multi-year agreement without knowing how many years multi-year agreement meant over the past,
Whether
what,
it's
2 months?
2, 3, 4, 5.
Multi-year was like the words of the day a couple weeks ago on the show. That would really kind of be, man, that would be wild to try and figure out.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
I mean, that opens a lot of doors.
It really does. All right. Now we're going to get into the serious part here, and this will wrap up our hour.
Yeah.
Commenting will come after we go through the full run of this particular story. Mentioned last week, of course, Darrell Wallace Jr. has been signed as Almirola's replacement over at Richard Petty Motorsports. He is officially the driver behind the wheel of the number 43. And for me, it's about time.
Yeah.
Here.
It's been a long time coming.
Thrilled
Here.
that he has that car.
Here.
Yep.
And, of course, then you get... And we all see it.
Yeah.
Okay? We see it personally. You know, we'll post something. I'll post something. Dustin will. You will. Garrett will. Anybody, we will post something. And somebody gets stupid and brave enough because they can be quote unquote anonymous.
Yeah.
Behind their computer or their smartphone or whatever.
Yep.
And they say something that is galactically moronic.
Did you just use galactically?
Yes, thank you very much.
That's awesome.
And the internet bravery has begun. Well, actually, it's been going on for some time, but it seems to ramped up a bit. Daryl, let's give you some background on Daryl Wallace. He's from the Mobile area.
Yep.
And shortly after he was born, he and his mom, they moved up to North Carolina. And he was all of 9 years old when his dad took him to his very first go-kart race at a small North Carolina track. And his father, watching Daryl, asked Daryl if he wanted to do it. And he excitedly said, yes, he did. Following his first ever heat race win, which was, by the way, a race that his mother saw from the stands in the state of Virginia, she heard the N-word tossed in her son's direction for the first time. He was all of, I think, 11.
Wow.
A word she says, and I'll take her word for it, that her son had never heard before.
Yeah.
She had to actually explain that word to him. Since then, to Wallace's credit, and this is from Lars Anderson, who was writing for BleacherReport.com, said the more he heard the derogatory statements from the people who claim that a black man doesn't belong in racing, in NASCAR, or any level of racing, Anderson wrote that all of that just drove to work him harder to prove that he does deserve to be the first black man since the Hall of Famer Wendell Scott to be a regular in the Cup Series. So all of these words, they either rolled off his back, again, to his credit, or they fueled a fire within him that he didn't take out on the person who was using the derogatory terms.
Yep.
As for his team owner, again, to his credit, Richard Petty said to the writer Lars Anderson, quote, the color of his, Daryl's, skin is immaterial to me. That didn't influence my decision to hire him at all. I looked at one thing. That was his talent and the fact that he got better each time he was out on the track. We talked about this earlier this year in the fact that he raced 4 races as a substitute for Eric Almirola when he had a fractured vertebra, I think it was.
Fractured vertebrae.
Okay, and he ran 4 races. And the worst he finished was 20th.
Yeah.
And
he got better
every race he got on the
Did a superb job.
Absolutely
stepping in. With no practice, no time to be prepared.
Yep.
It did a great job.
Yep.
Amen.
To continue Petty's quote, we had a team that finished anywhere from 15 to 20th. With Bubba driving this car, I think we can move from 10th to the 15th area and hopefully compete for a few wins. Listen, if the king is behind him, let's do us all a favor. Shelve your prejudices.
Bingo. You need to
judge him based on his talent.
You need to shelve it anyway in general altogether.
Exactly.
Amen.
We should. Folks, this is 2017. We're almost into 2018, and we're still judging somebody because of the tint of their skin?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Absolutely
beyond
absurd.
It's just ludicrous.
It just baffles me. But let's give you an example, shall we?
Oh, here we go.
This just came out yesterday. A Wisconsin high school golf coach has had to resign one day after posting, I'm going to go back to use my phrase, galactically stupid tweets directed towards Wallace in a derogatory manner.
Yeah.
Coach's name is Brent Nottestad. He tweeted Wallace several times on Wednesday of this week.
Yeah.
One of them in response to Wallace noting that his grandmother had died 1 year ago. And he posted, quote, Granny Jan die in a police shooting?
When I saw this, I saw the first tweet come up, and it just came in succession. And I'm sitting there going, social media went insane in a good way.
Thank God.
In a good way.
Nottestad, according to the Cambridge News, Wisconsin newspaper, that's in the town where Nottestad lives and worked.
He's going to have to change his name.
Posted, quote, hey, Bubba Wallace, please quit with the, quote, I'm black, unquote, BS. You're terrible. There are 1,423 more credible drivers to get that ride than you. And then he also chose to caption, if you will, a photo of Wallace with one of his fans posting, quote, almost looks like going to the zoo. Now, of course, all those tweets have been deleted, but it's kind of like that Tony Stewart thing with Eric Almirola. You post something that somebody realizes is, breaking news or it's moronic.
Yep.
It's going to get screenshot.
Yeah, it's not going to get hurt.
It doesn't go away.
It's not going to go away.
Even if you still delete it and nobody got a screenshot, it's still there somewhere in a system and can be
picked up at any
and
point.
be pulled and sent.
Yep. Bubba did retort kept it quite classy, actually. Said, quote, "You're a smart guy, a disgusting but smart guy, right? This makes you look pathetic and weak. It's sad. You said what you meant, and now you're worried about the repercussions that I pray to God will happen. Oh, and my granny hopes so, too." He then backed it up with, quote, "Wow, I truly feel sorry for your kids. Again, to have so much hate towards somebody you've never met. Hope your kids grow up to be the exact opposite of the father you are."
Woo. Good job, Bubba.
Classy.
Nottestad met with the Cambridge School District, whatever it is, turned in his resignation on Thursday, according to the school, releasing a generic statement, which I'm not going to get into, and that ends his 4-year tenure with the school as their golf coach. He did tell ESPN.com that he was disgusted with himself for posting the tweet, said that he will attempt...
A little late, buddy.
Said that he will attempt to reach out to Wallace soon, adding, and I think Wallace actually might surprise him on this, but he said, quote, "I don't expect him to forgive me, but I got to give it a shot." What do you want to bet Wallace becomes the bigger man and actually does meet with him and does forgive him?
I say he does.
He will.
I think he will.
But
yeah.
here's the thing that really just bugs me to no end when it comes to stupid stuff like this, like stunts that people, they speak first and don't think, is the
Right.
fact that they think once they say it, they don't care about it at that point.
Yeah.
Once it's actually out there where it's, oh no, I've said something wrong. You should have used your inner Jiminy Cricket in the first place
Yeah.
and
Bingo.
used that conscience
Where's
to
the
not
filter?
put something stupid out
Bingo,
like that.
bingo,
Where's
bingo.
the filter between your brain and your mouth, or your brain and your typing fingers?
It is in short supply in this country, in this world nowadays, as much as common sense is.
I agree.
All of it is in short supply.
Amen. I think I saw it in that Lars Anderson article about when you put a helmet on, you're no different than the next person sitting beside you on the racetrack, whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Garrett and I are race car drivers. Granted, we're on a totally different level than everybody else. Like Bubba, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson,
Danica
Patrick.
Patrick,
Yeah, Danica Patrick.
John Along.
Yeah, exactly. But when he and I put that helmet on, I don't care who I'm on the racetrack with.
Oh, it's another car.
I do
That's all.
not care if you're a black person, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
You're a race car driver.
Yeah,
You're just another
racer.
car
Another racer.
on that track right now.
That does not make me no better than Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez, Ruben Garcia, the guys that are running the K&N
Rico
series.
Abreu.
Rico
Yeah.
Abreu
Yeah.
makes me no different.
Big crowd favorite, Rico.
Absolutely.
Just like Bubba is.
Makes me no different. But if you got Richard Petty, 7 championships and 200 wins, can see a talent within you, that speaks enough.
He's got the talent. We've,
Speaks enough in itself.
we have seen
Yeah.
the talent inside of Bubba Wallace
Absolutely.
for years now.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for him to get his chance.
Yep.
Now he's got his chance, and you know what he's going to do with it? He's going to run with it,
He will.
and he is about to take it to the next level.
He will.
I call
And
it.
it's going to be because of people just like that guy.
I call it now. He makes the playoffs next year.
There you go.
I'm all for it. I
I'd
want
be
to
all
see.
over it.
He gets his first win. I will call it. He gets his first win next year, and I'll go back to what I said a few weeks ago. He's good at Dover. I see it happening at Dover. He gets.
That's going to be interesting because it's
He
going to
gets
come
it-
down to Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace then because I picked Chase to win Dover. Whatever the case may be,
Really do it.
I
really
want to.
do.
I want to see what he's going to do at the beginning of the season because of the fact he's going to have the time to really work in this offseason, be prepared for the season.
Yeah.
I know he's going to do
He's
better.
not just getting thrown into it. He's
Yeah,
gonna have
he
time.
was thrown into it and did a great job. Now he's going to get time to prep.
I'm going to retract my statement back up a little bit.
Oh no, it's already out there.
no.
Screenshot it.
I don't care. I'll screenshot it. Don't count him out at Martinsville either.
No, definitely not.
Do
Definitely
not count him out at
The
Martinsville.
thing that gets me about this, and again, I said it kind of at the beginning of this, why in the world in 2017, almost 2018, are we still basing somebody's ability to be a human being on the color of their skin?
Because everybody
or their
has
gender.
to have, because everybody has to have something.
Bingo.
They have to have something
Bingo.
Stupid
Bingo.
in their mind.
Yeah, here's the thing. 4 of us in this room, okay, and whoever's all listening, we all have talents.
Yeah.
Okay? And I may have some abilities that you don't have, but you have abilities I don't have.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and try and segregate myself from you because you have talents I don't.
Right.
Right.
Okay? And I've seen it so much over the last year or so in the fact that we are separating ourselves out by so many stupid, in the end, meaningless things.
Amen.
Yep.
Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, male, female, black, white. Doesn't matter.
Amen.
in the end, we're all here on this planet. You know what? There was an old phrase out there, and I forget who the quote is. But why can't everybody just leave everybody else the hell alone?
Yeah.
Amen.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm not going to try and separate myself out from anybody else just because of the fact that they happen to be a little different than me.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're no matter what color our skin is or our abilities, we're here on this earth to serve a purpose.
Yep.
I served in the military. I didn't look at the guys next to me when I was in a hole.
Bingo.
Exactly. Stop separating yourselves out by stupid stuff.
Amen.
Heck, Alabama-Auburn coming up in 2 weeks. How many people do stupid things that try and separate
Quite
the
a
two?
bit.
That ruin it for everybody else.
It ruins it for everything.
Stupid. Stop it.
Amen.
And get along.
Don't touch that dial. The Championship Racing Network will be right back.
Choosing a bank is not an easy task. You're trusting your money and your future in the hands of strangers. At Renaissance Bank, you're no stranger. You're part of the family. Renaissance can meet all your banking needs with the tools you need to secure your family's financial future. They even have tools for your kids like student checking. No monthly maintenance fee on a balance of $500 or more, unlimited check writing, and open the account with just $50. Visit a branch today in Childersburg, Chelsea, or Sylacauga for more information. Give your kids the tools to have a prosperous and successful future. Online at RenaissanceBank.com. Renaissance Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Drivers and Danica, start your engines!
Pull those belts down tight. One more time. Warm up those tires. Hit your marks. And let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, Indycar, Formula One, Formula E, NHRA, and local dirt track and drag strip racing talk. This is the Championship Racing Network.
Where'd you go? Where's your home? How'd you end up all alone? Can you hear me now? Hear me now.
Now, here's Steve West, Dustin Harmer, and Matt Nicholson with producer John Myers.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 just now underway here on the Championship Racing Network after a busy and rather heated
Just
first
a little
hour.
bit.
That first hour was just...
It was
fun.
good stuff.
It was fun.
All right, let's get into some other news here. Sticking with Monster Energy Cup Cup Series news, replacement not immediately named, but Germain Racing has said that they're not going to be bringing back crew chief Booty Barker for his role in 2018. So the 13 of Ty Dillon at this time is without a crew chief for 2018.
Which way did they go?
That's be an interesting question to be answered.
I think
later.
that's the best part.
What do you
of that
think,
team.
Dustin?
I'm not paid to think. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Don't think, just throw me.
Ty Dillon's new crew chief.
Can I reserve judgment for later?
By all means.
Okay.
Remember back when Furniture Racing used to have a really hard time finding sponsorship for the number 78?
Not very long ago.
Yeah. Well, they don't have that problem anymore. Between Bass Pro Shops and 5 Hour Energy Drink, which the latter moved from the 77 for next season to the 78, that meant that they were fully funded for the first time in team history. Now they're kind of shuffling things around because they've added in auto owners insurance, upping their commitment to the team. They're now going to be a primary for 8 races next year, up from 6 this season. So Furniture Row actually now lessens their commitment to not only pay for their stores and the employees, but the racing team as well.
Nice.
Sweet.
That said, our thoughts and our prayers go out to Barney Visser. Reports came out last night that he suffered a heart attack 1 week ago today. Monday, underwent successful bypass surgery. It's expected he'll be released early this coming week. Visser said that he hopes to be able to make it to Homestead Miami, but doesn't think it's going to be in the cards for him. I doubt seriously the doctors are going to let him travel to Homestead Miami.
That would be bad if the car owner can't even be there for a championship, if Truex clinches.
Yeah, but
Look at the
medical
season.
side of things.
Yeah.
Medical side of things, yeah. I
You look at
fully
the
get
season that the 78 has had and all they have had over there at Furniture Row. And in the past few weeks, just the amount of horrible things that have been going on off the track.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
been
want to talk?
devastating, really.
You want to talk about something
it is.
that is going to boost
motivate
that
them.
team at Homestead?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the sentimental part is going to be on them like crazy. Look what happened after the loss of one of the crew members.
I know.
They went out and won.
Yeah. That's, again...
And now Barney Visser isn't going to be able to be at the track
And
for
they've
the
already-
championship, for their first possible championship.
And they've already made it known they're bringing their best horse to Homestead, the one they've dominated every 1.5 mile racetrack with.
And I said it at the very beginning. Who did I say I was picking as my champion?
You're
There
the
are.
last man standing.
I'm sorry. Right now, I don't care who gets the win tomorrow at Phoenix. There are 2 guys at Homestead this year.
Two-man race.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a Ford, and it's going to be a Toyota, and it's not going to be Kyle Busch.
Yeah, it's going to be a 78.
It's going to be 78 and 4.
Yep, I agree. Back to Brad Keselowski. Team Penske announced that Alliance Truck Parts is going to be taking up some of the slack left by last week's rather surprise announcement that Miller Lite was dropping their commitment on the 2-car to be a primary sponsor from 24 down to 11 races. That's a big drop.
Yep.
Alliance Truck Parts is going to step up and be a sponsor for 6 events next year and remain as an associate sponsor for the remainder of the year. Another sponsor, Worth, has said that they're upping their commitment to 3 races for 2018, so they're slowly filling in the gaps.
11, 10, 21, 6, 27. He's got 9 more races to fill.
There you go. I get the feeling they'll probably find something.
Probably so.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the number 17 Ford Fusion got a special paint scheme this weekend, and if you look at it, it looks a lot like the 1991 and 1992 Ford Thunderbird number 28 that Robert Yates put on that Phoenix track. Majority black paint scheme mirrors the Texaco look that 28 made famous pretty much throughout the 1990s. It'll honor the memory of the soon-to-be Hall of Famer and his lasting legacy in NASCAR, of course, talking about the late Robert Yates.
Yep.
Congratulations out to Kyle Larson and his longtime girlfriend, Caitlin Sweet. They're expecting now their second child. Announced it on his personal Twitter account, said that their first child, 2-year-old Owen, is going to be a big brother sometime in May of next year. Hope everything goes
Congrats.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Next year's season opener, Daytona 500, actually going to begin a half an hour later than it did this year. It's now at 2:30 p.m., 1:30 p.m. Central Time. That's when we get all the pre-race ceremonies going.
Yeah, that takes a while.
Green flag is actually going to probably be at about 1:48 p.m. Central Time next week. Kind of actually, though, goes against NASCAR's trend for 2018. By and large, the start times are going to be earlier. 2018 race times were released on Monday of this week. 12 of the 36 races will either start between 30 or 60 minutes earlier than it did in 2017, including all of the events that for this year were listed as 3 p.m. Eastern start times. 17 of the remaining races will start at the same time. The remaining 7 races showing a somewhat later start time or a move from either Saturday night to Sunday or Sunday to Saturday night. A lot of moving over there. While introducing Eric Almirola, this is Xfinity Series news, by the way. Get this, the driver of the number 10 Cup car for the team that he co-owns, Tony Stewart, happy to talk about Almirola, but was also asked about his own driving future. Of course, Stewart's been driving mostly sprint cars since retiring from NASCAR Cup Series racing at the end of last year, but admitted he might be interested in coming back to NASCAR in the near future to participate in some Xfinity Series road course events specifically.
Sweet.
Smoke said, quote, somewhere down the road, it won't happen this coming year, I would like to dabble in a couple of races here and there. He talked about the 3 road course events that the Xfinity Series runs. He eliminated Mid-Ohio immediately. Not because he doesn't want to race there, because it takes place on the exact same weekend as the famed Knoxville Nationals dirt racing event. But said he could easily see himself at Road America. Added he would probably take over the second car in the Stewart-Haas Racing stable. We talked about this last week as well, the one that they co-own with the Aji Den Best Racing that starts next year. So Cole Custer's still in the 00.
Oh, yeah.
What was the number?
98.
98. Thank you. We could find him maybe a couple of times in the 98. And we get to call Tony Stewart, get this, we get to call Tony Stewart now a road course ringer.
Yeah. I
don't think I ever really thought I was going to say that.
I will not be surprised.
So, wait, hold on. Let me say that one more time. Tony Stewart,
road course ringer.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean,
I know.
his last win
Weird to think that we
did
would
come at a
say
road
that.
course. So
I wouldn't be surprised to see him.
I mean, you
show
think
up at Talladega next week.
like Boris said, those kinds of guys.
Ron Fellows.
Yeah. Tony Stewart, road ringer. What?
We talked about the battle of words that we got from last night's Camping World Truck Series race. It actually came to blows last weekend between Brendan Gaughan and Ross Chastain in a post-race confrontation. After the race, Chastain had a bit of a black eye along with a bloody lip from a punch that he feels came actually from one of Gaughan's crewmen. Chastain said of the confrontation, quote, I race hard. I understand that I make drivers and crew chiefs mad. I was getting out of the car, sitting on the door, and there he was. Came right at me, and with his guys, they were just there suddenly swinging from that point. The two of them, I didn't see everything involved in this, but obviously the two of them got together.
They did. I saw a little bit of it, but it was so dark in what I saw, you couldn't really make it out.
Yeah.
But I saw a bunch of South Point, uniforms going towards the watermelon car.
Yep. Flex Steel water.
But it got under Brendan Gaughan's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really ticked him off. He
Fighting
said, "You know
out
what?
of the
I'm done.
blue.
I'm not taking this anymore."
Fighting out of the blue corner, South Point. Fighting out of the red corner, Watermelon.
Watermelon got beat by South Point. And then you noted something that might affect some of the guys from Junior Motorsports this weekend.
Yeah, come across social media a couple minutes ago that there's a Hendrick plane having trouble in Oklahoma, and they're
then you're
thrashing to find pit crews for the Junior Motorsports Xfinity cars because they use the Hendrick Motorsports Cup pit crews.
Yeah.
Somebody better get in a car and start driving.
Yeah.
You're not going to make it from
You're not gonna
Tulsa
make it from
to
Tulsa to Phoenix that fast.
by race day, by race time. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
They should have thought about that in advance. Why did they leave so late?
I don't know.
Not expecting problems with the plane.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the wait a second. Hold on. I mean, they're already at the track. They're already racing.
Not all the pit crew members.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, you should have all your pit crew members there while your car's at the track already.
I think, but
I mean,
Not
if
in
I'm a team owner, I'm not going to send my car out and then send the crew like 3 days later.
Oh, no.
it's an interesting thing to note. So we talked about Elliott Sadler.
Yeah.
This could affect him. You think about that. This could affect him. William Byron. Think about the guys that are junior.
Oh my
motorsports
gosh,
that are
those
vying-
three are in the
They're
top four.
vying for playoff for the spot at Homestead, Miami.
This is not good right now.
No.
Welcome to drama. We just gave it to you. Welcome.
Drama times 10.
Speaking of planes, the sad news that we got a couple of weeks ago about Ted Christopher, NASCAR Modified Division driver, dying in a plane crash that also took the life of the 81-year-old pilot. Federal officials have ruled that plane crash was indeed an accident. The official causes of death for the two listed as blunt force trauma. The plane was piloted by Charlie Dundas, and with only Christopher on board as a passenger, took off from Plainville, Connecticut, bound for Long Island, New York last month when the plane crashed just outside of New Haven, Connecticut. They mentioned the cause of that it was an accident and that the cause of death is blunt force trauma, but the NTSB is still investigating the cause of the crash, so we don't know that. ARCA and Busch Series racer CW Skip Smith passed away over the past weekend. Smith had a love of working on and racing cars, which led him to get into full-time racing beginning at his home track, Selinsgrove Speedway, in the Pennsylvania town of that very same name. Claimed the track championship there in 1987. He moved on and up into both ARCA and NASCAR, racing in both series from 1994 to 2005, and then he retired. Recently had been diagnosed with leukemia, lost his life to that disease November 4th at a hospital in Pennsylvania, surrounded by his family. CW Skip Smith, 70 years old. Last night, East Alabama Speedway, quite busy and a little scary, Matt.
Yeah.
I like the intro to this.
I
By
do
the
too.
way,
I just now seen that.
It just says a bit of dirt racing news. Matt,
I set him up for this last night. I said, I'm coming straight to you.
I was like, what the heck?
I said was sure and two thumbs up. No, this weekend is the National 100 race at Phoenix City. They have 8 divisions down there, I think.
Yeah, just about
8 or 9
a lot of
divisions
different
down there.
classes.
They started last night, and it's obvious they're having some track surface problems this weekend.
Yeah,
It's
Obviously,
very obvious.
it is obvious.
But
Which
last,
rut do you want me to run in?
Yeah, last night in the cruiser division heat race,
Define a cruiser car, by the way.
cruiser car is it's more like of a stock full body type car.
Going back to like a early to mid 80s.
Monte Carlo,
Cutlass,
Camaros,
Thunderbird.
stuff like that. Yeah, narrow tired cars. Cruiser heat races because they split it up, run heat races on Fridays. Some mains are Saturdays, while the other division heat races, are on Saturdays, and then they run the mains on Sunday. In a cruiser heat race, Kyle Lewis out of Troy, Alabama, took one of the most wicked flips that I have ever seen in a dirt car of any level.
I saw that video.
And this was on a restart.
On a restart
on
now.
a restart.
And I don't know how many years of experience he has, but it was one of those number one unwritten rules that you commit, that you don't do. You don't leave the top open on a restart. He followed the leaders way down to the bottom out of turn 4 on the exit. Washed up the track, but the 4th place car shot to the outside. And in some track rules, you can pass to the outside on a restart. Before the start-finish line, you just can't pass to the inside. It depends on what track you go to.
Okay.
He left the top open, come up, made contact with that 4th place car, barrel rolled going into turn 1. I've never seen a dirt car disintegrate like this one.
That was, I mean, it wasn't. You brought it up. It wasn't a very fast speed.
It wasn't
Fast speed.
It was on restart
Fast at all,
speed.
no.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a dirt car disintegrate like that. The
Body
entire
panels
body's gone.
everywhere.
Everything just gone.
The drive line, motor, out of the car.
Yeah.
It was just so weird. It was as
Yeah.
if it was at like quarter speed.
Yeah,
Of what it normally would,
Yeah.
and you were just watching a slow motion replay
Anybody-
of something.
Anybody that knows Phoenix City, like Garrett and I do, when at the start finish line, you're maybe 75% speed.
Yeah,
maybe
just
at
about,
most.
maybe.
75%.
So you're not even at full speed at that point,
No
and
way.
you're rolling and disintegrating.
Yeah.
He rolled that, what, 4 or 5 times? Easy?
It was hard to
at least
tell
3
because
or
the car
4.
was coming
Yeah.
apart.
The car was coming apart. Yeah, you couldn't tell how many times he flipped.
So
But-
there's parts going everywhere.
But what I've seen through social media, people from Phoenix City, that he is in a hospital, I think, in Phoenix City, just with a concussion and some lacerations. But that's good that he walked out of that.
Again, that goes back to rules about how to build cars.
Bingo,
Yeah.
bingo,
I mean,
bingo, bingo.
How you build
ripped
the car,
the
how much safety you build into these
It
cars.
ripped the motor mounts out of the car, and the motor was laying beside the
Yeah,
car.
when you rip a motor mount out of the car and the motor comes out and it hits the ground, and when the car stops, the engine and transmission connected with the bell housing, it's sitting beside your car.
Something
It
went
makes
wrong.
you go, whoa.
Yeah, seriously.
And there's sobering news that came out of, where is it?
Yeah, Myrtle Beach, South
Beach, South
Carolina.
Carolina,
I
thank
think this is the weekend for the Myrtle Beach 400 late model race. A guy, Jackie Ward,
Yeah, Jackie
was killed
Ward.
in a practice crash in
Yeah,
an asphalt lace model.
So, I mean, we talk about this. We love talking about racing. We understand, though, that there is a danger.
There is
Yeah.
a lot of danger when it
There
comes
is.
to
There is
racing.
a danger involved in it.
Yes, there is.
To the NHRA, where officials have suspended 3-time Top Fuel champion Larry Dixon indefinitely from all sanctioned racing events, Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series, Sportsman, or even lower regional series within the NHRA. It appears Dixon not only had been showing off a 2-seater nitro dragster on the first day of the recent SEMA show in Las Vegas, said he was also planning on opening up the Larry Dixon Top Fuel experience. This is an experience that would be kind of like the Richard Petty driving experience, if you will, where you could get a ride-along. You could buy a low package and just get a ride along and have a driver take you around. We had the Honda Indycar at the Grand Prix a few years ago.
That was the single greatest day of my life.
We had the chance to do the 2-seater rides.
That was the single greatest day of my life.
Okay.
How did I not know about this?
So you can buy that little thing, but
Yeah.
in this case, the experience would give rides to the paying public in a 10,000 horsepower dragster. Those who paid would get a chance to feel kind of what the drivers go through at each event, probably at what? 2/3, maybe half power. I mean, he's not going to run that thing.
No, if you run 10,000 horsepower, you better sign 5 medical waivers and give 10
Jeez,
points
no
of identification.
But you get a little bit. You get a little bit of an idea of what these Top Fuel dragster drivers go through when they launch off the line and go an 1/8 mile down the track.
You know, you could do this in a simulator too, right?
I'll take
Want the
simulator.
thrill?
NHRA officials released a statement saying Dixon had violated their rule book, specifically Section 1.3.1, participant conduct, and 1.6.3, which is chassis inspection. You go, huh? It appears that Dixon didn't get the approval from the NHRA for the experience, but pictures showed that the 2-seater he was showing off at the SEMA show had an NHRA chassis tag on it, despite it neither having been inspected nor approved.
Oh.
Yikes.
Oh.
This is the second.
Oh.
This is the second time this year Larry Dixon has run afoul from the NHRA. Dixon let go from Alan Johnson Racing following the 2016 season, been attempting to get his own race team going, and his own race team made the 2017 debut at the third race of this year, the Gator Nationals down in Florida. They were eliminated in the first round of the finals. But he got into trouble because he was being sponsored by the World Series of Drag Racing. You think, what's the problem there? That's operated by the IHRA, which is the NHRA's biggest competitor in sanctioned drag racing events.
I want to go back for a
Larry.
moment.
Larry.
Let's revisit something we talked about just a few short minutes ago, last segment, last hour. Common sense, okay? Common sense in short supply, right?
Yeah.
Hello, straight up common sense. I mean, what moron?
Yeah.
That's the word
Galactic.
today, by the way.
Galactic.
Galactic
Galactic
moron. With no common sense. There you go. Hashtag it.
Larry, what are you thinking?
Yeah. Dixon and the team were forced to remove all of the stickers related to the competing series and its event before he could take to the track. Since then, the team had not raced. Larry himself has been driving in the lower Lucas Oil Series for the Bartone Brothers team, running top alcohol funny cars. He can appeal the ruling immediately, but he hasn't commented.
I wouldn't comment either.
I'd keep my dang mouth shut.
I would definitely keep my mouth shut at this point because you done screwed up.
Yep.
You done messed up, AA Ron.
When we come back, we're going to talk about how far the NHRA has come up in the world. It seems like an odd combination to combine Courtney Force and a record release. But we're going to do that when we come back on the Championship Racing Network.
Stay right here for more on the Championship Racing Network.
Get in the Christmas spirit this holiday season at Christmas in the Pines. Starting November 17th through December 23rd, make memories during a mile-long hayride through the light displays and enjoy family time in the Christmas village full of arts, crafts, and food. Plus many special guests, including Grammy nominee Judy Pancoast performing December 15th and 19th, and the one and only Santa Claus visits from the North Pole. Open daily from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week at the Camulga Grist Mill in Childersburg. For more information, including admission, visit Christmas in the Pines on Facebook or ChristmasInThePines.com. Choosing a bank is not an easy task. You're trusting your money and your future in the hands of strangers. At Renaissance Bank, you're no stranger. You're part of the family. Renaissance can meet all your banking needs with the tools you need to secure your family's financial future. They even have tools for your kids like student checking. No monthly maintenance fee on a balance of $500 or more, unlimited check writing, and open the account with just $50. Visit a branch today in Childersburg, Chelsea, or Sylacauga for more information. Give your kids the tools to have a prosperous and successful future. Online at RenaissanceBank.com. Renaissance Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I am Sergeant Clay Warren. I suffer from PTSD. In 2013, I ended my whole life. Now my voice has been brought back to speak to people like me. Know that you're not the only one. Things can get better. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. Speak up now to get the help that you need.
22 veterans end their lives every day. You just heard the reconstructed voice of one of them. Seek help at mission22.com.
2 tires only, and back out to the track for more action on the Championship Racing Network.
Welcome back to the Championship Racing Network here on Yay 106.5 and WYEA 1290, part of Radio Alabama, brand of families here in East Central Alabama. Coming to you live from the J&M Tank Line Studios. You can make sure you can listen in online, not only on the radio dial, but at WYEA.net, or make sure you download that Yay 106.5 app for smartphones or tablets. This segment of the show brought to you in part by our great friends at Renaissance Bank. When you need financial freedom, make your first and only choice Renaissance Bank. Stop in and see Janice, Russell, and all the gals down there on 8th Avenue Southwest in downtown Childersburg, online at RenaissanceBank.com, or give them a call today, 256-378-4002. Renaissance Bank, the official bank of the Championship Racing Network.
Amen. Mm-hmm. We've talked about in the past, and over the past, 20 years or so, we've seen where racing really comes into the pop culture world.
Yep. Yeah.
For example, I think it is it this weekend that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running the Justice League paint scheme for the movie that comes out
last week.
Okay, ran it last week. Okay. We've seen it in the past. I remember Tony Stewart at one point in time drove one that was one of the Shrek films.
Yeah, Shrek. And he did Madagascar.
Superman on Jeff Gordon's car, Batman on Dale Earnhart Jr.'s car in the past.
Madagascar on Johnson's car.
When in Richmond, Chevrolet sponsored those races.
SpongeBob sponsored Kansas.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Chevrolet had 5 cars a race for the whole weekend that was sponsored tied in with music artists.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick and Kiss.
We've seen where racing has come into the pop culture side of things, but we had never really heard about it a whole lot when it came to the NHRA. But this weekend, I think it shows how far the NHRA, just in the last couple of years, has stepped up.
Sweet.
Courtney Force's funny car entry this weekend in their season finale is going to sport sponsorship from Big Machine Records. Big Machine has chosen Force's car to promote the release of Taylor Swift's new album, Reputation, which officially hit store shelves yesterday. Turns out that Big Machine label group CEO Scott Borchetta, that's how I choose to pronounce it, I don't know whether that's the right way, is not only a huge fan of music, obviously, but a huge fan of the NHRA and the Forces in particular. Said that putting the album on Courtney's car, quote, a perfect match of the two game changers who are the best.
Scott Borchetta.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. He's a huge fan of motorsports.
I know.
He's dabbled in all levels of racing. And you're laughing. Go ahead.
Gigglebox, what do you got?
No, Nothing. I'm just thinking about, all of her albums. I mean, they might as well just call it breakup album 1, 2, 3, through 10, because that's all this is a bunch of breakup albums.
And that is now her reputation.
Yeah, that's her reputation. I mean, if you date me, I'm going to turn you into a number one song.
I mean, Borchetta struck a deal up with Target a few years ago.
Yeah.
And had her on Tony Kanaan's car. I think it was at Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I saw that, I'm going, oh, boy.
Yeah, here it comes.
And
Here we go.
We're going to see this more and more. I really feel like
She's not Taylor Swift anymore either. What is it? T Swift?
I don't know.
T Sizzle?
I don't know.
Here's my next thing.
Sizzle out?
her song, so.
Fizzle out.
Borchetta puts up the money to sponsor the Brickyard 400.
Yeah.
The big machine, whatever you call it, 400.
Big Machine Records, yeah.
Yeah.
Which NASCAR entry does he get on first?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's next. Because Borchetta, he used to race at Nashville Speedway, the fairgrounds, in a truck.
You know what it's going to go to? You know what's going to go? It's going to go to Chase Elliott's car
probably.
or Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Brady.
I don't know. I could see.
You know why?
I could see a potential tie-in with Darrell Wallace Jr.
There's more. But wait, there's more, because now she's making her foray into dating NASCAR drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Could be.
Let's go turn Chase Elliott into a number one. And then we're going to see him on TV going, well, my mama said if they ain't got nothing nice to say, you don't say it at all.
You
Well,
don't say
she
nothing at all.
done said he's more worried about his race car than me, and she'll turn that into, that'll be the name of the song.
Yeah, probably. Courtney's sister Brittany, as we get back into the news. Courtney's sister Brittany, yesterday, in the first rounds of testing and runs at Pomona for this weekend's season finale event, set a new Pomona track record. Made the quickest pass in the track's history. In her top fuel entry, laid down a 3.667 ET at 330.31 miles per hour.
Zoom.
And it's looking like it's going to be a fast weekend because the second best top fuel time was only 4 1,000ths of a second behind hers. This is going to be a fast weekend out in California.
Yep.
Following, this is a cool move. Speaking of Veterans Day, this kind of ties in with it. Following this weekend's NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series season finale, the NHRA is teaming up with Summit Racing Equipment and Armed Forces Entertainment and are sending a group of some of the top drivers in the Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series to visit American troops who are on duty in remote locations around the world for the holiday season. Entitled Operation Appreciation, this year's tour is going to make several stops in and around Japan, where drivers are going to have the chance to meet and talk to the men and women in uniform and bring them a taste of back home. Among those that are confirmed are Pro Stock Series drivers, car drivers in this case, Jason Line and Greg Anderson, Pro Stock motorcycle riders, Andrew Hines and Eddie Krawick. Got a couple of monster truck drivers who are coming along as well. Hines and Krawick are teammates, said that they're thrilled to be a part of this. Krawick noted his family's service, that he was a member of the junior ROTC during his time as a student, and all of that led him to want to participate this year. This, again, we talk about the racing community coming together.
Yep.
This is a prime example of that.
Yep.
That's going to be an interesting trip.
Oh, yeah.
I think it will be, yeah.
Well, you figure you're looking at Japan. You got Okinawa, Japan. That's where the Marines are.
Yep.
And they got Korea.
So, yeah.
I mean, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
South Korea?
I know.
That's where they're going to go? Mm-hmm. In and around Japan. That's pretty much Korea.
Get ready for it.
Yeah.
Here's where the crazy little fat kid over there in North Korea with all the missiles is going to come into play.
That's where these guys show up and go, let us show you how a rocket really works. Oh, and here's some clippers. Buzz that thing.
Yeah, no kidding. To IndyCar, Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan Racing has announced they are recommitting to the Verizon IndyCar Series. I can only say that for one more year. And as a show of their recommitment, they're going to go into 2018 as a full-time two-car operation and have added Takuma Sato to their lineup that already featured Ray and Ray Hall. Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan ran two cars in several events over the past couple of seasons, most notably for the Indy 500, but they haven't been full-time. Now, team manager Rico Nault is saying that with the equipment to do it, the hiring process has now begun to field full crews for both cars, taking several from the decision by Chip Ganassi Racing to contract from 4 to 2 cars next year. Sato had driven for RLL before, most notably in 2012 when he was battling Dario Franchitti for the win in that year's Indy 500 before he spun out on turn 1 of the final lap and crashed. Former NASCAR and IndyCar driver John Andretti revealed Monday he is done with his chemotherapy treatments for now. For those of you that are just now catching up, John Andretti was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer 6 months ago, immediately began a series of 12 chemo treatments in order to battle it, also underwent a surgical procedure that removed about 13 inches of his colon. Further scans at that time asserted the cancer had spread to his spleen and gallbladder and possibly more. In June, he announced via social media, where he's been keeping everybody updated, that the spleen and gallbladder were listed as cancer-free. Andretti's now 54 and has, since the diagnosis, become an advocate for men over the age of 50 to get colonoscopy, spawning the social media hashtag #CheckItForAndretti, the number 4, not the word 4. Andretti has been using social media to update the people on his experiences through the process of the treatment, and that's fascinating when you think about it.
Yeah.
We're shedding more and more light on this. This is something that we used to go, oh, he or she has cancer,
right,
and it's such a shame.
Yeah.
He's been updating people through the process to let them know, hey, this is what I've been going through.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's been interesting.
We're shedding more light on it.
It's been interesting to watch. I've watched it periodically, but the times I've seen it, it's been interesting to watch.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It really has. Latest driver who said he'd like to try the Indy 500 Coca-Cola 600 double, Ryan Blaney.
I think he's in a good place to make it happen.
Blaney's moving over from Wood Brothers Racing over to Team Penske in 2018 and has long expressed an interest in running the Indy 500 and is now going to say he's stepping up his efforts to make it happen. Told reporters at Texas Motor Speedway last weekend, quote, "I would love to do it. I have a lot of respect for the people who have done it. It is a tough day of racing, 1,100 miles, and the plane rides back and forth. Of course, the last driver to do it was Kurt Busch. Turned that task in 2014, finished 6th in the Indy 500, and was named the race's Rookie of the Year. And he flew down to Charlotte and was performing pretty well until the engine blew up about midway through the Coca-Cola 600. Blaney added, quote, "The Penske group is pretty good at the Indy 500. Well, that's an understatement.
You
Pretty
think?
good.
You think?
So hopefully I will get that chance. Roger Penske hasn't commented yet.
That would be interesting to see Blaney in a Chevrolet at Indianapolis and then go run a Ford at Charlotte. About like Kurt Busch in a Chevrolet at Charlotte and a Honda at Indianapolis.
Yeah, the only difference between that is there's no Hondas in NASCAR right now. So that is
True.
running a Chevy and
The
then
Chevy
running
and
a
the Ford thing might be a little on the interesting side.
That could be.
I imagine,
very,
though,
very
if you're Roger Penske, you've got a pretty good relationship with both. You could probably smooth it out.
I think so.
Well, is it any different than Graham Rahal running a Honda in Indy and then running an Acura?
Honda and Acura are
That's the same thing. Isn't
their
it?
team. Yeah. Acura is just the luxury brand of Honda.
Moving on.
Now, let's break that down for a minute there, Matt. Yeah, that's a good point. They are a team.
Sorry.
I think the Ford Chevy thing is an interesting thing, but but if it's under the Team Penske banner, I think it could probably be smoothed over.
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking
think
of
they would be
I
able
was
to.
thinking of that Toyota Lexus tie-in.
I would say this.
Stop digging a hole deeper.
I would say this. I think it would be less of a possibility if he were to remain with Wood Brothers because of the number of races that Wood Brothers is actually sponsored by Ford and Ford Performance.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now that he's moving over, he's not going to be sponsored by Ford and Ford Performance and all those. Well, he might actually for a couple of races, but not like he is at Wood Brothers.
Right.
So I think it could be smoothed over
Right.
easier.
In that regard, yes. As if it was right now, maybe not so much.
Yeah. Not for Wood Brothers.
Right. So definitely, once he moves over, I'd love to see it.
Yep.
I think it'd be good. I mean, he's young enough; he could actually pull it off.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could do it a couple times.
But in the end, we've still only seen one driver complete all 1,100 miles.
This is true.
It's a tough day to do.
Smoke.
Hey,
That's a tough thing to do.
Smoke has done it. Kurt
he
Busch
said-
would have had it if his car hadn't gone to
And he said
hell.
after the race, when he got out of the race, for the last 100 miles of that first time he did it, that bottom white line that marks the apron from the track, he said
Yeah.
that thing looked about 5 feet wide.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
a
remember
tough day.
I think Blaney's got the stamina and the skills to do it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people learn
Kyle
from that
Larson does
experience.
too.
I could
A lot
probably
of people
do it.
learn
I've
from
done
that experience.
867 miles straight.
At 200 plus miles an hour?
I wish.
Then hush. Over to Formula One, Romain Grosjean of the American Haas F1 team feels as though they can benefit from the driver upheaval that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks at Toro Rosso. Haas F1 currently is only 6 points behind Toro Rosso, and they and Renault are all battling for 6th place in the final Constructors' Cup points. Toro Rosso has been doing so many driver changes that Grosjean said that he feels like both Renault and Haas F1 could overtake Toro Rosso. As for overtaking Renault, he says might not be as easy because even though only 2 points separate those two, quote, I think out of those teams, Renault is the faster one. Got a really good car through to the end of the season. They've had a bit more of a difficult time in the races. which has allowed us to close the gap and keep them in sight. Toro Rosso is the one we can try for. They're not performing better than we are. They've got less experience amongst their drivers, so that should help us. We're going to do everything we can to get those positions because it's very important for the team. Haas is in 8th place in Constructors' Cup points right now. It's their same finish as 2016, their first year, but they've scored more championship points this year than they did last year. According to team principal Gunther Steiner, 7th place is the minimum target for this team, but at the same time, considering a relative lack of engine reliability over the last few races, not just for them, but for the main team, Ferrari, as well. We talked about the problem Sebastian Vettel's had.
Yeah.
Steiner actually feels like 6th is very possible. They'd have to step it up at Brazil and Abu Dhabi, though.
Yeah.
Because, again, Romain Grosjean seeing what's going out on the track firsthand because he's racing against those guys, and he says Renault is faster.
I don't know. Just have to see.
Yeah. That's one of them got-to-see deals.
Now that he's attained his goal of becoming the Formula One champion now for the 4th time, Lewis Hamilton said he can concentrate on his future. Told media he plans to open talks with Mercedes about remaining with the German team. He's in the final year of his deal with Mercedes, said that he has no plans to follow in the footsteps of Nico Rosberg, who last year claimed the title and then dropped the mic and quit. Made comments in the recent weeks about looking ahead to battling not only Sebastian Vettel, but Max Verstappen, is motivated by those prospects to continue his racing career in Formula One, adds that he and Mercedes officials have already had preliminary talks on an extension of their deal, and said that they will sit down again before the end of the year and talk about it more, hoping that major progress can be made before the end of the season. But that said, problems in paradise for our 4-time champion. Possible tax evasion in Britain. According to the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC themselves, papers reveal Hamilton got a value-added tax refund totaling more than £3.3 million, British currency, following his purchase of a private jet back in 2013. It was imported to the Isle of Man, which the British government claims was done purposely to avoid paying taxes on it.
Rut-row.
Hamilton's lawyers claim that the tax barrister, welcome to British words, reviewed the paperwork on the deal, determined that there was nothing against the law in relation to it, and others in Hamilton's management team insist that the deal was, quote, above the board. It's funny, it appears that the British government doesn't think so. The plane's registered with the British government as predominantly a business expense. He has used the jet to fly to the majority of the 20 races each year since the plane was bought. But government officials are also claiming that the business use claim is bogus and that he uses the plane more for personal purposes than business.
Just ask Al Capone how tax evasion went.
Yes, but I don't know of an Elliot Ness.
There's a cell ready to go for you, friend.
Yep. Good luck with that.
That's a mess right there.
That's wild. Yeah. Somebody messed up.
Somebody.
I don't think it's Lewis Hamilton. It's somebody in his management and accounting team.
Somebody either forgot to cross a T, dot an I, fill out a piece of paper.
Carry
maybe
the one.
E equals MC square, the whole 9 yards. Math with CRN right here on Network.
When we come back, got to take our final break of the show. When we come back, number one, it'll be Matt and Dustin and Garrett taking the reins, but they're also going to talk about Williams has figured out that one driver is not anymore in the running for their 2018 seat. We'll tell you who and why.
Yeah, we'll see how many names I can mess up.
Yeah, here. Yeah. We'll tell you who and why when we come back right here on the Championship Racing Network.
We will be right back with more on the Championship Racing Network.
Choosing a bank is not an easy task. You're trusting your money and your future in the hands of strangers. At Renaissance Bank, you're no stranger. You're part of the family. Renaissance can meet all your banking needs with the tools you need to secure your family's financial future. They even have tools for your kids like student checking. No monthly maintenance fee on a balance of $500 or more, unlimited check writing, and open the account with just $50. Visit a branch today in Childersburg, Chelsea, or Sylacauga for more information. Give your kids the tools to have a prosperous and successful future. Online at RenaissanceBank.com. Renaissance Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Get in the Christmas spirit this holiday season at Christmas in the Pines. Starting November 17th through December 23rd, make memories during a mile-long hayride through the light displays and enjoy family time in the Christmas Village full of arts, crafts, and food. Plus many special guests, including Grammy nominee Judy Pancoast performing December 15th and 19th, and the one and only Santa Claus visits from the North Pole. Open daily from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week at the Camulga Grist Mill in Childersburg. For more information, including admission, visit Christmas in the Pines on Facebook or ChristmasInThePines.com.
I am Sergeant Clay Warren. I suffered from PTSD. In 2013, I ended my whole life. Now my voice has been brought back to speak to people like me. Know that you're not the only one. Things can get better. You don't have to carry that burden anymore. Speak up now to get the help that you need.
22 veterans end their lives every day. You just heard the reconstructed voice of one of them. Seek help at mission22.com.
Fuel only. Go, go, go. We're back to the Championship Racing Network.
Welcome back to the Championship Racing Network here on Yay 106.5 and WYEA 1290, part of the Radio Alabama family of families of radio.
Family brand, baby.
Family brands here in East Central Alabama.
That's right.
One big family.
I'm all jacked up, man. And it ain't Mountain Dew neither, and there ain't no sugar in this monster. So I don't know what's going on there, but you can listen, of course, online WYEA.net or download the Yay 106.5 app for smartphones and tablets. And now
That's right.
that Steve's away, the mice will play.
That's right.
Woo.
Yeah.
How many names we can butcher?
So let's all keep tabs as Dustin goes through this.
Yeah. How many names?
So let's see. Let's go where we were. We're right here. Blah, 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 blah. As for another driver's future coming to a close, at least for Formula One is concerned, Felipe Massa has announced that this will be his last season as a driver in the series. Massa has racked up 267 starts in Formula One all time, 6th most in the series history, and was tempted to leave following the 2016 season. But when Rosberg retired and Bottas moved from Williams to Mercedes, Massa was lured back for one more season.
One more.
Just one more, folks. Just one more. Just one more every time.
One, man.
Just one. I just need one. Massa was said to be under consideration as one of several drivers for their car in 2018, teaming with Lance Stroll, but Massa has removed himself from that conversation, saying that he will run in Brazil and Abu Dhabi, and then he's done. And then it's just one more. But in his 14th season up to this point, Massa has secured 11 wins, 16 poles, and 41 podium finishes with the 2 races left in his career. He was a championship contender in 2008, but Lewis Hamilton edged him out for the title and has been pretty much dominant ever since. By 1 point driving for Sauber, Ferrari, and Williams in his career. He said Thursday he's intrigued by Formula E racing, so he is likely not retiring, just stepping away from Formula One. And maybe that will continue.
Maybe.
Considering everybody else is probably tired of Lewis Hamilton winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going,
Yeah.
Just one more year.
let me
just
stop.
need one, man.
I'm going to go right through that. They're dealing with the Jimmy Johnson era right now.
Yeah. 2006
In the
to 2000.
in the likes of
6 to 10, yeah.
in the likes of Hamilton. See, it's not just NASCAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every sport has
Yeah.
that dominant either
They do.
whether it be a team or a driver or
Yep.
There's always that. There's
anything.
always that one special individual.
Yep. Yeah.
Speaking of Formula One, they've been looking ahead to end the current engine package rules slated to expire following the 2020 season. As a result, the FIA has revealed initial details regarding those regulations. According to the FIA specs, the series would keep the current 1.6 liter V6 with turbo units, the controversial engines that have been in use since 2014. Among the things being discussed, the rev limit will be increased 3,000 RPMs up to 18,000, supposedly to improve the sound and internal design regulations that restrict developmental development costs.
RP.
what a jump.
I wonder if that's a wrong number.
18,000.
No, it's not.
It's got to be.
18,000. No, it's not. I saw the same article where this was gotten from. They want to increase it to 18,000.
Just for the sound.
I would like
Well, it's
to.
because the sound sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awful.
But at the same time, I've heard Indycar with 11 or 12. 18,000? Hello.
Wow.
I think I'm going to take a trip to Austin, Texas next year.
The
Or
Circuit
whenever
of
this
the
goes-
Bring
Americas.
the earplugs.
Yeah, whenever this goes into effect.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
So that's where was I? Oh, yeah. Along with other possible changes that would help control costs, Formula One rights holder Liberty Media has not commented, and neither have any of the teams currently on the F1 grid.
Speechless.
Because ain't nobody got a clue right now on what.
Right.
That's what they all looked at each other collectively and said,
Who
what?
said that?
Yeah. Somebody didn't get the email.
Yeah.
The new ideas about the 2021 engine package have opened the eyes of British automaker Aston Martin, who have said they are exploring a possible entry into the Formula One ranks as an engine supplier. Recently, they've hired several people with Formula One experience to help them in their evaluations. Red Bull officials have said they would like to join with Aston Martin should they enter. However, not all of the current teams are happy with the plans, as Ferrari has actually issued a threat to quit if the engine regulations move forward as proposed. Can't make everybody happy.
Nope.
Mercedes and Renault have expressed doubts about the new regulations, but Honda hasn't commented at this time. Oh, here we go.
You need help here?
Nope. Sergio Marchionne, Ferrari's president, said the fact that we now appear to be at odds in terms of the strategic development of this thing, and we can see that the sport in 2021 taking on a different air is going to force some decisions on the part of Ferrari unless we find a set of circumstances, the results of which are beneficial to the maintenance of the brand and the marketplace, and to the strengthening of the unique position for Ferrari. Ferrari will not play. Does anybody want to break that down in layman's terms for me?
Ferrari's pitching a fit about something.
You know, I want to just quote, Ferrari's mad, moving on. I mean, that's all of that just to say
Ferrari's
we're not
Ferrari's
happy.
in the playpen crying for a passenger.
Why does Formula One have to complicate everything?
I don't know.
Because they're Formula One.
Why can't we just say,
Formula One.
we're mad and we want to take our ball and go home? And no, instead they got to say all of that.
We get to run cars that cost $250 million a year, so we can pitch a fit about what we want to when we get ready.
So Marchionne also goes on to say, quote, but if we change the sandbox to the point where it becomes an unrecognizable sandbox, I don't want to play anymore.
Boo-hoo.
Jump on the floor and throw your temper tantrum. I don't want to play NASCAR globally. I just don't. End quote. When asked how he would feel if he were the man who removed Ferrari from Formula One, he responded, quote, like $1 million because I'd be working on an alternative strategy to try and replace it. A more rational one, too, end quote. Is that really rational?
No.
I call that irrational.
Apparently it is in his eyes.
So, well,
Yeah, it's irrational.
somebody went to the wrong. I think he went to
Yep.
Columbia for a while.
Irrational.
Chase Carey, F1 boss, said in no uncertain terms that he had no intention of turning Formula One into an open wheel NASCAR. What's he got against NASCAR? I think. Hey, we need to get Marchionne on the phone. What's your problem, buddy?
Yeah.
So
Get on the phone.
So all of this, now there's a meeting between the F1 strategy group of team bosses and Formula One executives slated for Tuesday, with reports stating Liberty Media is wanting to rebalance the distribution of income among the teams, attempting to up the competitive balance.
They can only try.
It's so wordy. However, a spending cap has been tossed out as a possible idea. For Ferrari, it would be a massive change to company policy that should they remove themselves from the sport, which they've been in since Formula One began back in 1950, claiming 16 Constructor Cups, 227 Grand Prix wins, and 15 driver titles in 68 seasons so far, with a partridge in a pear tree.
And there you are.
So, okay, we got like 8 minutes left in the show, and Formula One just gave me a headache.
Yeah, I've had a headache the whole show.
I mean, Marchionne, man. Homeboy needs to, like,
Yeah.
just, you know,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
take a vacay.
yeah.
You know, maybe go to the islands for a little bit. I mean, you are pent up, man. You got to take a little
But
break.
if Ferrari pitches a fit and leaves Formula One, do they dare venture into IndyCar?
They're almost going to have to.
Yeah.
Just say it.
I mean,
They got to go.
nowhere else to go.
They can't go to NASCAR
No.
because he just threw NASCAR under the bus.
Yep.
Hey, they do have Ferrari noses for dirt cars. Maybe come into dirt racing.
Oh gosh,
Ferrari to Arca.
that's aiming.
I'm serious. They do have Ferrari dirt noses.
Yeah.
I'm
They
not
do?
playing. Yes.
Yeah. They have a dirt nose.
Oh, then he'll come down and
Dirt nose with Ferrari.
then they'll come down and get beat there, and they'll be like, you know what, we don't like it here.
We don't-
either.
there's-
We're gonna go ahead and go home.
Too
We're gonna
dirty.
we're gonna take our
Charlotte.
ball and we're
You
gonna go
just took
home.
a country tail whooping there, Italiano, buddy. I can hear that now.
So let's move over to NASCAR. Of course, it is this weekend. We got Phoenix coming up. It's the last race before the season finale. I can't believe we're already here.
Yeah.
Going back to last week, we had some interesting picks last week.
Yeah. I picked Keselowski, and he did not perform like I thought he was going to.
Side note, I got an alert on Facebook this morning, or actually yesterday.
The alert.
This is the 1 year anniversary of my first time being on the show.
Is
The
it?
co-host.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, you made it. We don't have anything for you.
Just a hand clap.
We-
Oh yeah, and I
Golf clap.
shared was it last week or Monday?
Oh, your
maybe?
first time on the show
Yeah,
when
it
you
was my
came into the
first time
studio.
on the
That's
show.
right. I
Yeah,
remember that.
2 years ago.
Man, I tell you what, this is crazy.
anniversary.
Yeah. So happy anniversary, Matt. You made it one
Thank you,
year.
buddy.
So
Here's to many more.
there,
Cheers.
there is no raise yet. But no, it's been a pretty good year so far. I'm big difference from when you first started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a. What do you think about that, Matt? I don't know. Now we can't get him to shut
Out
up.
of my shell. We now have letter of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
Word of the day.
All right, so we got Phoenix coming up tomorrow, boys.
Garrett, you're first.
Why is Garrett always got to be first?
He's the intern.
Oh. First one into the fire, buddy. Oh, what are you thinking for Phoenix? Let's look at somebody that you're not looking at. Let's look at somebody that's a dark horse, and let's look at your overall winner. What do you got?
See, somebody that I'm not looking at is I say Casey Kane. Not a chance.
Okay. I know Blair Mayfield probably.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Just yelled at the radio. So congratulations. He's waiting for you out in the parking lot.
Sorry, Mr. Mayfield. See,
Blair's a very big diehard Casey fan. Actually, my dad would probably come down here too. But
Blair's dad too.
yeah. All right. So Kane is your guy not to look at. Who's your dark horse?
Show.
my dark horse. I'm gonna say Hamlin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's going to be your overall guy then to win tomorrow?
Harvick.
Going with Harvick.
I'm going with Harvick.
Even in a Ford, in the fact. Okay. Okay. I like it.
He's got momentum. I like the momentum.
He does have momentum. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how they're going to turn this into what's actually going to happen on track tomorrow. It's going to be curious to see what Ford can do.
We have seen what the playoffs did to the drivers before, so now expect before the race to Homestead. I mean,
all right, okay. So we got Kane, we got Hamlin, and we got Harvick. All right, moving over to Anniversary Boy.
Hey,
What you got, buddy?
my no-show.
Your no-show?
Considering I took a peek at practice, my no-show will be Kurt Busch.
Really?
wow.
Okay. All right. Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse, Ryan Blaney.
Starting on the pole.
Starting with pole.
Okay.
I'm a dark horse. He's in position to get the job done.
Okay. And who's your overall?
My overall, I am going with none other than, I'm not going to sleep on him yet, Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott. All right. That's an interesting lineup. All right, so my three. No show this weekend. I look at the likes of Jimmy Johnson. I think this weekend is going to be the telltale final bit for him to the fact where he's going to have an awful race. They're going to try and throw everything possible at this 48, and it's going to completely go the opposite way.
Themselves in the foot.
So that's where I'm looking at for no show is going to be Jimmy Johnson. I think we can put the rest. We've already put to bed the whole no 8 this year. Dark horse. My dark horse is going to be Chase Elliott.
Chase has shown a lot of speed in practice this week, and he's starting in the top 5.
I think we're going to see a resurgence of him this week to the fact that he's still going to be a little pent up from Martinsville. Yeah, it is Phoenix. I know they're going to try and take one. Try and throw everything they got to try and win this race.
You know who he's starting behind?
Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Right behind him.
And that leads me to my winner this week is going to be the likes of Denny Hamlin. I think Hamlin has Phoenix figured out, but mark my words, and I said it last week on the show, and I said it since Martinsville. When it comes to Homestead the following week, if Hamlin's in, he ain't going to last long because that 24 is going to take him out.
If Hamlin wins this week, that knocks Keselowski out. So it's pretty big.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We got these 5 guys are vying for that one spot. Right now, Keselowski, 19 points to the good. That's going to change in a heartbeat.
I picked Elliott because Chevrolet is going to give him the heave-ho to try to get that one Chevrolet. He's got the best shot.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. So okay, so we're going around the table one more time. We got Kane. We got, as your no-show, we've got Hamlin as your dark horse, and Harvick as your winner. You've got Kurt Busch as your no-show. You've got Ryan Blaney as your dark horse.
Elliott outright winner.
Elliott. And then I've got, who did I have? Oh, yeah.
Hamlin was your outright winner.
Yeah, Hamlin was my outright winner. Yeah. So
no-show Johnson.
Yeah.
Dark horse was, I don't remember.
Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
I was just seeing if he was listening.
I'm glad our round table is only 3 people. We would never make it.
Yeah, no joke.
Well, I'm about to say it's been one heck of a week. I tell you what, the show went by really, really fast.
It did.
Hopefully one of these days our picks are going to land, so we'll see how that goes. Of course, we can't ever do anything without our great, great partners here on the show.
Here.
So we definitely want to thank Renaissance Bank. Of course, remember, when you need financial freedom, make your first and only choice Renaissance Bank. Stop in and see Janice, Russell, all the gals. Hi, Rashonda, of course, as well, and Destiny and Miranda. You can find them down there on 8th Avenue Southwest in downtown Childersburg, online at renaissancebank.com. Give them a call Monday morning. Go in there and see them if you want to change things up for your finances. Renaissance Bank, the official bank of the Championship Racing Network. And, of course, get in the Christmas spirit this holiday season at Christmas in the Pines, starting November 17th. Of course, that's next week. That's this coming Friday through December 23rd. Make all the memories you want with the family during a mile-long hayride through the light displays and enjoy family time in Christmas Village full of arts, crafts, food, and more. They're going to have special guests like Judy Pancoast performing on the 15th and the 19th. Santa Claus is going to be visiting. We're going to have to get Santa Claus in the studio ASAP. Yes. And we're going to be live out there at one point. We were working on that as well. So we're going to be live from Christmas in the Pines coming up here soon. Open daily, of course, 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., 7 days a week at the Grist Mill in Childersburg, because I'm not saying that word again.
And leave your worries at the worry tree.
That's right. Leave your worries at the worry tree.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's a lot of worries going on. Big thanks, of course, to Garrett and Matt and Steve and everybody, John, Nikki.
Thanks to you, Dustin, too.
Yeah, and thanks to me, too. So we'll talk to y'all next week, same time, right here on the Championship Racing Network.
See ya.
This has been a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.